you got to have real people who would be, putting everything in place, because that's the way to get your message out there.
We got it. We're live. Pavel's back from Miami.
Baby.
I'm back from Orlando.
Back from Florida.
We're back from Florida.
Both of us back from Florida. Yeah.
That's true, buddy.
Yeah.
The duo is back. Let's talk, man. Let's talk about virtual assistants. There was a really great graphic that my team designed, and I've been handing it out to everyone at Virtudesk.
Okay.
Here's the one. I want to start off with this.
I saw that one. Yeah.
Dude, we got over 2,000 requests on this.
Well, because this is like the hottest positions right now for hire. People hire for video editor, exec admin, and social media manager. This is like the hottest can be, because apparently it looks like a lot of real estate agents and business owners switching from ISAs, just, hitting the phones, by actually developing more of a content marketing and attracting leads that way. What do you think? I mean, you're the guru on that.
Yeah, I think this is what happens. Everyone starts with an executive admin first, or an admin, right?
Yeah.
Let me stop sharing just to talk to you on this. And then they want their admin to do everything. Like, can you edit my video? Can you post to social media? Can you create graphics for me?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
Can you be my ISA?
Can you be everybody? Yeah. Yeah. Jack of all trades. It doesn't work that way.
No, it doesn't. I think that's where, when the ISA or the social media manager, the video, whatever you hire, when they get overwhelmed, they start doing bad, because you can't lead them, right? That's the biggest challenge. You need to then hire somebody else. So I suggest this, and this is what I wanted to talk to you about.
Sure.
I suggest that if you're just starting off, you get an executive admin, somebody that you can use to leverage out all of those things that you want to be done. And once you figure out a nice process, then I bet you that the executive admin can tell you, well, it looks like we probably need to hire this person next.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because executive manager, the executive admin will become more of a manager, who will be, eventually become your operations manager and can run your company by adding more people, sort of adding more muscles to the bones. Yeah. So first, obviously, you got to start to create the skeleton, the bones. Once you create that, then you can add more muscle to it.
That's true. So here, I'm going to go to you on this. After sure. Executive admin, because I still feel like that's probably the best first hire, right?
True. Yeah.
After an executive admin, and what do you think in the world that we're in, we should hire first?
I'd say the marketing coordinator, the person who will be working on content, creating the graphic, obviously, video editor, somebody who has video editing skills, because I mean, look at this right now. The world is all basically, your biggest billboard is in your hands. So
true.
You gotta be basically everywhere. And the way to stand out in the noisy world, you gotta have an attractive content, so people can actually not just simply scroll through it, but actually, stop and look and listen and watch. So video is the way to do it. So video editing, because a lot of agents do, they just, record the videos of the house they sell, or standing with their face to say, hey, this is me selling a house. But you gotta go a little bit more creative, adding the subtitles, for example, because again, a lot of times people listen without the sound on. I mean, they scroll through the social media feed like Instagram or Facebook without a sound on. I mean, it's been proven. So you gotta have subtitles. You gotta have subtitles, the catchy, description. What I like, for example, about Nas Daily, like what he's doing, if you look at his stuff, all his videos have like a subtitles, but not exactly subtitles, but what he's saying, it's all being basically spelled out on the screen. Short videos, like a 1-minute video, but whatever he's saying is spelled out on the screen. So that actually stands out, because people not only listen, but they can read. And a lot of times when there's scrolling in silence, they can read the subtitles or whatever it's saying, and they may actually switch to the sound.
That's true. All right. So tell me, if we're going to hire a marketing manager, social media manager, along those lines, that's a very niche person we're looking for. How do you, now you put on your CEO hat at Virtudesk, how do you guys go about finding that person for us? Because I always find that that's a tough position to fill, man.
It is. And we have obviously our ways of looking for talent, scouting for talent. We're looking for people from different backgrounds, especially if for video editing, we like somebody who's in video production right now. I would like to see somebody maybe worked at a TV station. So it's very possible to get a very highly qualified person who, decided to work from home now instead of commuting and basically creating those videos. So we do, scout for talent and find those talents. Also, what do we do? When we find somebody who's really good, we don't just place the person with a client. We may just have this person as a trainer. So he would be training, upcoming people who want to become video editors, creating the most important thing is obviously creating the certain standard that are currently in trend. So we constantly, looking for what's out there, what's trendy. The marketing, not the marketing. Actually, right now we have the marketing team members here in the US and the training team here in the US who are attending special training on the trendy stuff for social media. So why they're doing it. I paid for the training. It's I think a couple months long. So they're actually learning it, so they can actually create the modules, the training modules for video editors, for graphic designers, our employees, our virtual assistant can actually stay up to date with things.
Good, man. I think that's key right there, because something that's often forgotten when it comes to a social media manager is that they also have to understand trends.
Of course.
They have to understand trends so that they know what we should be doing. And right now, what I look for when I'm hiring a video editor is number one, can you edit well enough so that it fits the current culture, right? Yeah. And there was a great question, Amy. Amy had a great question. Any suggestions on how to learn video editing? And I would say it's the very same way that video editors that we hire now are continuing to stay relevant. And that's by watching what's popular on YouTube, right? And so there's two parts to that. One, what's trending, what's popular. The other one is you'll find that those same people typically are also teaching you what to do, right? Getting to the jump cuts, identifying the right music. So that's one thing that if you hire the right person or the right people, they'll be able to do that for you so that you don't have to, you just shoot and then they'll dice it up for you and throw it back to you and say, put this up on Instagram, put this on TikTok, YouTube Shorts, Facebook Reels, wherever, right?
Yeah, watching the YouTube is one of those things, actually. And we've interviewed many different video gurus here on this podcast. As you know, we've talked to London, remember?
That was fun.
Dude, yeah. The guy, the Home Alone guy, I call him, Yeah. But the way he described how he's doing, he's actually recording them all in one day and just edits them and throws them on different days. So that's what you got to do, and your video person should be able to do that. And what I started doing right now, because I'm recording reels and I'm recording shorts, because my team's asking me to do that, and I usually do it on the same day. Right now I pretty much started adopting the same thing that London's doing. I record them on the same day. I do a change of shorts, change of scenery, so it doesn't look like I'm from the same chair. And yeah, dude, I don't want to be boring, And the team is actually editing them and throwing them out there on a different days. That's how it's done,
So is your local team, because your team's mixed, right? So
it's mixed, yeah.
You've got in-house and then you've got VAs out of the Philippines. So
exactly.
Which ones do you have doing what? Like you're shooting, right? Your in-house team is shooting, shooting?
Well, as far as we go about the video, yeah, the in-house team They can prepare the lights for me. They can, shoot. We have a person who's very good at shooting videos here. If this is just for the video on my iPhone, I can do it myself. But again, the in-house team, because as far as like video editing, it's mostly done in the Philippines.
Got it.
I'd say about 80% of work on the video editing part is done in the Philippines.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
a lot, man.
Yeah. The in-house team, the marketing coordinator, Sarah, for example, she's coordinating with them, and she's putting tasks for people what needs to be done and pretty much overseeing that. So in-house team is basically overseeing what the Filipinos team is doing, because you got to have both. I mean, you cannot just have, I'm just gonna now just have VA or in-house. If you grow in a bigger company, you gotta have both in an essence.
You definitely do. And then that social media manager splits up into other things too. I'm working with a couple of big companies that have gotten so big on social that now they've said, okay, now we had a social media manager, we had a video person.
Mhm.
Well, now that we've gotten so big, we need one person for Facebook, one person for Instagram, one person for TikTok. And I think that's where we eventually all head as we grow, because the platforms are so different from each other as you grow and engage.
Yeah,
You need
100%.
one person to grow it, dude. What do you think overall on that?
100%. That's what we do as well. We have separate person for YouTube. We have separate person for the YouTube in the Philippines. We have separate person for TikTok. So, because frankly, this is just like so much work and so much content. And in this world, you really have to be everywhere. And considering the amount of work, you cannot just really throw it onto one person and expect everything to be done flawlessly. You gotta, basically put different people in different departments, so to say, because we have people who are in charge of LinkedIn, in charge of Facebook, like LinkedIn, for example. It's hard for me. Basically, we have a team who's responding to messages in my LinkedIn personal. Somebody's reaching out to me personally on LinkedIn. Chances are it's going to be my team who will respond. And unless it really warrants my attention, it's going to be handled by the team, by the person who's assigned.
I love that.
Yeah.
Well, that's how it should be, man. I think as you grow, that's how it eventually should be, because there's no way you can be everywhere at once.
You can be everywhere, and there's only 24 hours in a day, and there's so many different platforms. And again, to stay relevant, you have to be all those platforms, and I can name like 10 probably at least. We do Reddit blogging, we do the Telegram. It's just so much, man. So somebody has to be everywhere.
I agree. All right.
Yeah.
Let's dive into a little bit on the video editor one.
Sure.
Because we've been doing this together here for a little bit, repurposing the longer form videos. And so what you see here right in the middle, the long form videos, anything approximately 5 minutes longer, or Pavel, like the one we're doing right now, right?
Yeah, like 30 minutes probably. Yeah.
You got it. Once this is done, our VA editors, because not just one, we have a few, right? They're in charge of cutting it up into shorter videos, into YouTube Shorts, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and LinkedIn as well. And they're also in charge of ripping the audio. See over here, taking the audio, and then creating a podcast, audiograms, and emailing out into our database that as well. So there's a lot you can do, but I think I'm going to stop sharing. I think people forget that there's so much that can be done, because they're like, oh, I'll just hire one person to do everything. And I think that's the biggest mistake. But what do you find when we're breaking it down like that? Because we've been doing like this for what, a year and a half now? What have you seen has happened over the last year and a half, now that we're creating this amazing brand?
Well, obviously, there's more brand recognition, because again, it's not only me and you that doing the Leverage podcast. So people should understand there's a huge team behind us who's doing it, who's helping us put it together for this content. We just, showing up here and shake hands, kiss the babies,
That's true.
But somebody's gotta basically edit it, somebody has to cut it, somebody has to prep it, email it to the database, notify people about this event. Then usually what happens after the recording, then people say, hey, was this recorded? I didn't get a chance to attend, can you send me a copy? So obviously it's being downloaded to the YouTube, it's being sent to the Apple Podcast, everywhere. It's basically somebody, you got to have real people who would be putting everything in place, make sure that this is, let's say this episode of Leverage is going to be on all platforms, Spotify, anywhere, because that's the way to get your message out there. Because again, you don't want to just be only known for YouTube guy or a Facebook guy or Instagram guy. You want to be everywhere. Trust. I mean, obviously, some content is only suitable for going to be for YouTube. Some content is only going to be suitable for Instagram. But again, you got to throw it out everywhere. So it's basically you. And I believe, obviously, as a real estate agent, if you really truly want to dominate your market niche, you gotta know your audience. You gotta know where they are, and the only way to know it, if you basically start throwing content on all platforms, and then you monitor the data where you have the most views, and where you have the most views, you basically see, okay, here, then I have to basically hit more content in that direction. Let's say you have more views on YouTube, or then you basically start concentrating more on YouTube without abandoning other platforms. But again, in order to do that, you got to have support staff who will do it.
Yeah.
Because if you're selling real estate full time, you're not going to be doing this full time.
There's no way, man. There is no way. And I think you start seeing it come back to you in the form of transactions.
Yeah.
When you start showing up in front of people in real life. So for let's say for real estate agents, right? When you show up to an appointment, when you show up at an open house, when you show up in the real world, people are like, hey, I've been following you, or I see you, right? Because I know when we go to events, Pavel, people are like, oh,
yeah, they know you.
I saw you there. I saw you here. And that already creates the brand recognition and the trust.
Exactly. Yeah. It's basically happens. I mean, this year we've already been to a couple conferences, couple events, and people start recognizing you basically because of the content they've seen of you. They come up, say, hey, can I take a picture with you? Because you're that guy. It's like, sure, yeah.
Nuts, man.
That's, dude. Yeah.
That's what we want to create right there. All right. Chuck's got a great question. What's up, Chuck? So the video creation you are doing yourself and then sending off to a VA editor. I think I missed a piece on this. You want to?
Yeah, I can answer that. So the best way of doing that, Chuck, is to, let's say, if you basically have a phone, you do record the video on your phone. Once you record the video, you upload it to any kind of file sharing platform, either Google Drive or Dropbox, but I think Google Drive is probably the easiest and it's free. So you upload it to your Google Drive, and your VA obviously has access to your Google Drive. So your video is there. You don't technically send the video because otherwise it would just, it's going to take too long to send. And obviously it's, the quality will diminish. So yes, you send it to your Google Drive. The VA and accesses the video in a Google Drive. Once she does, she can basically go and edit it to your liking, to the way you want it to look like. Adding subtitles, cutting, creating out of, let's say you record like a 5-minute video, she can create like reels, she can create 30-second videos out of it. And she can cut it in different pieces and basically post it for you on your social media or whatever you do, Tristan.
Yeah, no, I do that too. And yeah. I think there's one piece that's often forgotten by the people who hire VAs, and that's that they can't read your mind. So
you got to have specific instructions.
Yes, you have to show them. Like, if you have something of how you want your video to look like, Chuck, you've got to show them examples and be like, hey, you see these 4? I want it like this. Send it to them. And then when it comes back to you, if this is your first month with them, guess what's going to happen?
They're gonna mess
Everything's
up.
going to be screwed up, of course.
Yeah.
So you give it a month, give it 2 months, and then you'll be like, I got this. It's easy. Now, when you send a video, it'll come back edited with whatever you like, right? Like we like some words popping up sometimes. We like the captioning, and we want no music now because we want to upload. I want to upload here to Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and Facebook, but I want to give it, excuse me, I lost count of all of them, dude.
Yeah.
I want to choose the music, right? Specifically on Instagram and TikTok, because I want to choose trending music.
Yeah.
So that's how you do it. Chuck, I put a little bit of a summary there while Pavel was talking. I just put it into a summary of what Pavel said so that you could just copy paste that. Chuck, if you're looking to hire a VA editor, they usually do come trained because I've hired them and they do a great job of, well, Pavel's team does a great job in identifying somebody who already has a good background in that. All they're going to have to do is find out how to work better with you. That's it. And that takes a little bit of time. It takes a little bit of time.
Exactly. Yeah.
So now let me go back to the other slide that I originally had because I want to end with the executive admin, buddy.
Sure.
Only because I still feel like that's the most important one. Can you see my screen?
I can, yeah.
All right. Executive admin's right in the middle. And this applies to all businesses. Everyone needs an admin, obviously.
Oh, yeah, big time.
And the difference between an admin and an executive admin is usually somebody who has a lot more experience, right? A lot more training. That's an executive admin. If it was up to me, everyone would just skip directly to the executive admin full time because it keeps you accountable and it brings in somebody who works well. Here are some items of the things that they do. I'm going to stop sharing. I'm going to go to you, Pavel. When it comes to an executive admin, what is it that they do that becomes important for your growth in your business?
I mean, obviously, executive admin is not just a person who only does the tasks. Most of them actually do the planning, do the follow up with the contacts, scheduling the meetings that I have, keeping me updated on my calendar. Also, somebody who, let's say, we run a busy calendar of events scheduled. Somebody who's actually coordinating that, like for example, we go into EXPCon, we go into NAR, somebody who's actually coordinating with those people on my behalf, making sure that all contracts, like we went to Tom Ferry, making sure all the contracts paid, making sure that all contracts signed, making sure the all the hotel tickets and everything, blah blah blah, is all booked. We actually go in that way too. So basically, we're a lot of administrative stuff that requires more expertise, not exactly probably expertise, but more involvement than just simply creating tasks, like simply just completing a task, let's say, of a data entry. Somebody who's actually more involved, and somebody is basically becoming your right hand in an essence of in your business, who knows your business intimately enough to make the right decisions, minor decisions. Obviously, all major decisions have got to be made by you, but somebody who's basically making minor decisions on your behalf.
Yeah. You know what I found when you just said that? I thought of, so I went back to think of our executive admins, which are now like, I have director of operations. I'm thinking like anytime I'm looking to see what we're missing as a team, as a business, and I'm like, guys, who should we hire next? I go directly to my director of ops because they're so in touch with everything. They know if somebody is working way too much on something and not paying attention to something else that needs to be paid attention to. So this is how we determine who we're going to hire next based on what we're missing. But I go directly to my director of ops. So I find that you probably do the same thing, Pavel.
Yeah, exactly.
I love it. All right. So we got 4 minutes left, 3 minutes left. As the world changes this year, because I think it's still changing. What do you think that is going to be the most popular type of VA that people hire by the end of the year? Does it go back to the ISA like it used to be? Executive admin stays at the top, social, video, something different? What are you noticing?
I think, I mean, what I see the trend in hiring right now, what we see, I say is actually in the downward, because again, people not as much, uh, you know, crazy about cold calls no more. And again, are you going to call? Expires? There's not really any expires. Everything sells for sale by owners. You know, that or circle dialing. But most importantly, we see right now people hiring for marketing admins, marketing, social media marketing, executive admin, and video editing. That's what I said in the beginning of the webinar when you actually put those up.
Mhm.
Those are the hottest positions right now we have.
You didn't even see my slide. You already knew.
Dude, yeah, this is like the hottest positions people hire for. You know.
All right, so I agree with you. Here's what I think might happen. I think that towards the end of the year, or maybe it happens next year, I think that you start seeing a content creator VA, like copywriter, maybe identifying the right descriptions, maybe even identifying what topics we should be talking about.
Oh, exactly. Yeah, big time.
I don't know yet. So don't call me on that when it doesn't happen. Okay. It might, or it might not.
We'll see. We'll see. Yeah.
All right, Patty's got a good question for you. How do you determine fair compensation for the 3 positions? That's a great question, Patty.
That's easy to answer. You don't have to negotiate with them. We already did that for you, and you're basically paying the rate that we set, and you know these people are fairly compensated. Plus, they're getting all the benefits and everything. So go to myvirtudesk.com. It's myvirtudesk.com, and you'll be able to see the pricing.
Well, that was easier than I thought, dude. I thought you were going into details, but that was fine. I just put up the link. Chuck just hired my first EVA and ISA. I like where this part of the conversation is going, Tristan. I agree with you. Dude, Chuck, thank you for agreeing with me. I appreciate that. Yeah. Patty says, thank you. What about bonus structures, buddy? Do you leave that up to
Yeah. Well, basically we leave it up to you. Let's say if you hire somebody in ISA and you want to set like bonus structure just to incentivize more, totally up to you. I see sometimes people give like a $50 per listing taking. I see sometimes they do some, you know, per sale, they give a like $100, $150 bonus, you know. So yeah, this is up to you. I've seen people giving out $1,000. It just depends on your generosity. You know, they'll accept everything. And Virtudesk doesn't take any part of the bonus. You know, 100% of the bonus deck goes directly to the VA. We don't.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I like that, man. Yeah. That's cool. I love that a lot. All right. So hold on. Patty says, thanks. I got you. Casey has a question. Can we hire by jobs? Like, let's say I have a job, a specific job. Can you do it just by jobs and then say, okay, you're done?
Oh, you mean like you have a project, like a project-based?
Yeah, project-based.
Sure. We have it's called a time blocks service. Let's say you need somebody, you have a job for like 20 hours and you need somebody to hire for that 20 hours. You just prepay, and that goes to the pool of VAs that we have in that category. You don't get a designated VA who works for you, like, but it's going to be completed. Yeah, it's doable. We have that. You know?
Perfect. And then Jacqueline, I answered it. I put it in there, but I'm going to ask it for everybody else. Who do you recommend to hire first? Sorry, I missed the first few. I put up the link for Virtudesk, and I recommend that you hire first an executive admin if you have no VA at all.
Yeah.
They will make your life easier. Pavel, do you agree?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Oh, good. I still like you then. We're still brothers.
Yeah.
All right, Chuck, good job on hiring your VA, buddy. And any questions you have, please feel free to reach out to Pavel or to myself. Pavel's the CEO of Virtudesk. I'm just helping out here, co-hosting this. We're both on
Yeah.
Instagram. Feel free to reach out to us.
Yeah. Instagram, Facebook, everywhere you can find. Yeah.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Pavel.
All right. Thank you. Have a good one.